I'm just gonna use this.
What's up, Raymond?
What's happening? Just gonna use this. You won't get it.
What's up, Raymond?
What's happening? Hey, what's happening? Use this. Won't get it.
Won't get it? Hold on. Okay, don't worry about it.
What's up, Raymond? Hey, what's happening? Won't get it.
Won't get it? Hold on. Okay, don't worry about it. All right. So, my name is Katie Lowe, and I am the host of Rhythm Flow Radio. And I'd like to welcome everybody to a conversation with Brother Raymond. Today today is Friday, and it's 5 p.m. and we all know what happened on Friday at 5 p.m. We have to sit down and we have to have a conversation with Brother Raymond. Where is Brother Raymond? I don't hear him. Is he here? Where are you?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. So how are you doing today, Brother Raymond? And what's on your agenda?
Well, today we're honoring my one of my friends, one of my mentors, Alfonso Adams Johnson. We'll be doing half of the show dedicating it to him, and we also will be doing a part dedication to Brother Lofton. Brother Lofton down in Kansas City, 17-year-old boy was died in the hands of police officers in Kansas City, and man, it's like tragic. So we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna do it as always. You know how I start, open up the show. We got people trying to connect too, Katie Lowe.
Okay. Did you give your people a phone number, or do you have a number for me to put in for you?
Yeah. She said she's trying to connect. I guess she's trying to go on conversation with Brother Raymond.
Okay. What's the phone number you want me to log in?
312
312
662
662
2038.
Okay, 2038.
And I think it's a few people trying to connect on a conversation with Brother Raymond on the page. So
okay, I'll go to that page. But I'm putting this number up 312-662-2038. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, we're gonna take that number and put it on the screen right there. So anybody that is trying to connect to a conversation with Brother Raymond, call 312-662-2038, and I'll go to the page for comment.
She said, "Can you send me the link?" That's what she's asking.
Oh, she wants the link. She wants to be on the screen.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know where to send this link to, but I can copy the link and put it on the screen. And you can take this link and you can join right in.
Okay.
If you would like to join us on the screen, here is the link. You take this link right here, and this will bring you right into the screen with us. And I also will go and put it on the page.
That's what I just said on the page. You read my mind. Great mind think alike.
Okay, so you're talking about dedicating your part of the show to who?
To Alfonso Adams, a dear friend, a mentor, what I used to call a beacon of light to the community. This brother here, we grew up the same. You know, God delivered him, and when He delivered him, He didn't just deliver; He delivered this brother. I'm talking about Alfonso. He went back to school, Lewis University. He received his bachelor's in 2015. He started the Second Chance program in 2013, and he changed.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you. You said that he started the Second Chance program.
Yeah, the Second Chance program with Danny Davis. Yeah.
Okay. What is the Second Chance program?
Second Chance.
Some people may not know. Some people may not have. They may not. You know, they have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, the Second Chance program is a program for, I hate saying this word, I'm just going to say it one time, y'all forgive me, for ex-offenders that they're trying to help become productive members of society.
Okay.
Okay, so doing this Second Chance, uh, Alfonso joined and he got enrolled into the CTA program. And during that time in the program, Alfonso went on so far as, let me just say this, when he finished with them, he was the Rails manager in CTA. He had moved up just that far in CTA. He had got over hundreds of people hired at the job. So this brother was dynamic. He was dynamite, and it's just unfortunate. It's a fortunate loss for all of us in the city as well as around the world, because he was CTA's poster child. So he went all over the country talking about the motto of CTA. And so to lose him, we lost a great friend, a great partner, and also with me, I look at him as a great mentor.
Okay. You said second chance program, and you said I know that the second chance program are ex-offenders that are returning to society.
Right.
And I just want to throw this in. A lot of them went and had no business being there.
Well,
Okay.
that's true. That's true too.
Okay.
That's another stop. That's another show, Katie Love.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted
That's
to
another
say
show.
that
All right.
a lot of
All right.
guys go are incarcerated, but they have no business being incarcerated.
She
So I
said
just wanted to say,
the link cannot be clicked on.
huh?
Someone saying the link cannot be clicked on.
Okay.
I'm getting
What
it.
they need to do, hold on, let me explain to them what they need to do. So, in order for you really to receive that link the right way, send a text message. This is if you want to be on the screen. Send a text message to 708 717 2533, and I will text that link to you. And then, therefore, you'll be able to click on that link.
Give me that
No,
number again.
they will not be able to click on the link from the screen, but they can copy the link
Okay,
and
and it
paste
says
it.
it's 7 what?
708
Uh-huh.
717 2533.
2533.
Yeah, they can send me a text to that number and I will send them the link to put them on the screen, bring them
Just
into the
send it out
virtual
to them
studio.
so they can get on there. This is
Yeah.
in fact, this is Alfonso's wife.
Oh, great. How
Mhm.
nice. How nice.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
So yeah, and I have fun memories of him. We chopped it up all the time, and he used to always inspire me. He's like, man, Raymond, I am so proud. He said, I'm so freaking proud of you, man. Bro,
Hmm.
you doing it, man. Keep doing it, keep doing it. Because at one point, I was in a slump myself, because you know how we've been fighting Katie Lowe and how stuff wasn't going, and I was like, man, I never stopped, but at the same time, I keep telling people I'm not Superman, I'm human, and I have feelings too. So it had its toll, it weighed its toll on me, and but right then, and that's why I called him a beacon of light, because just then, when I feel like I was going to cash it in, he come calling. I answered the phone. Yeah, bro, I'm so proud of you. I seen you doing this and this and this. Don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. Don't stop, man. You are an inspiration to us all. And I'm like, wow. So I'm an inspiration to him, and he's my inspiration. So the iron is sharpening the iron, like it talks about in the Bible. And so during this time, the brother went on to do a whole lot of things. I'm talking about Katie Lowe, coming from the ghetto, all we dream about a home, but never purchase one. This brother purchased a home. They had the grill on the patio. Man, I'm talking about God had blessed him so enormously, man. I'm talking about him and his family. I mean, it was just a gift from God, and just the hard work and the dedication that this brother had done, man, and the work. the work he put in. You know what I'm saying? When I talk about work, I'm talking about work. I'm talking about he went back to school, he educated himself, he
Mm-hmm.
pulled himself up to a whole nother level. And when that happened, doors start to open up even more. And I'm just saying, God makes no mistakes. We all know that, but I'm just so grateful
Mm-hmm.
to be friends with this brother and to have a relationship with him that he's inspired me to do even more and greater things as of now. And so with that being said, when we talk about losses, man, this is a huge loss for us, man, because this is a man who genuinely cared about the people and he wanted to help and he gave back when a lot of people wouldn't give back. He gave back. He reached out. He pointed out directions. He helped people with resumes. And I hope his wife comes on.
Yeah, well, I
And,
sent her the link. She should be joining you shortly.
and so with that being said, to have a friend, Katie Lowe, in this business, man, when you're doing anything a little considerate, you have all kind of haters and doubters and naysayers. And so to have a brother like that, they can hit you on the line and give you some inspiration when you need it, and you can give him back the same inspiration that he's giving out. That's called good vibes. And when them good vibes is moving, then it's only but growth from there. So it's a tragedy, to lose anybody of that stature. But again, like I always say, God knows best. So I can't question God, but I just know that we had lost a valid, valuable brother. We really did.
Well, there's a saying. It says that we are put up. We're only on this earth for a short while,
Yes, we're
and
visitors.
yeah, we're visitors, and we're here because there's something for us to get while we're here. Okay,
Yeah.
when we come, I mean, this is just my opinion. When we come to this earth, there is something that God has put us out here to do. Okay,
Yes.
and once we do what we're supposed to do, it's time to go on to the next place.
Yeah, it is. It is. It
Okay,
is.
so
Yeah.
maybe Alfonso had got his basic B instructions I
Mm-hmm.
before B
Mm-hmm.
leaving L the earth
Yeah.
Bible basic instructions before
Right.
leaving
Right.
earth.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on
Okay,
that. I'm
so
with you
maybe
on that.
he had got him, and it was time for his spirit to ascend and go somewhere else.
Amen. I receive that. I receive that. But
Okay.
it's still that's my man. And I like it's so crazy because coming from where we come from, we didn't have nothing. And one of the dangerous neighborhoods in the world, Cabrini Green, and to survive that in itself was a blessing. And then not only to survive it, but to go on and thrive from it. And I thank God for the penitentiary. It sounds crazy, but this is where a lot of us got our starts from. Once we had a made up mind inside what we were going to do outside, we came out and we acted on it. And once we acted on it, then it started to manifest because you can't tell me that you couldn't have told me I have my own organization, I have my own company, I'll be a motivational speaker, I done spoke around the world. You couldn't have told me that. I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't even bet the house on that. You couldn't have bet my bottom dollar. I would have lost the ranch if that was the case. But God has his way of doing things, and this is what he did for us. And so when Red went, because we call him Red. So when Alfonso went back to school, got his bachelor's degree, and
Hmm.
elevated himself throughout the rankings of CTA, everybody was like, wow. And not only that, took his family out of an apartment and moved them into a house. And then they had his and her cars, the good stuff that come with the promises of doing the right thing for the right reason. You know what I'm saying? So it was a beautiful thing to see that, man. And then not only that, he can teach you, if you're willing to listen. And he can guide you if you're willing to follow. So not only did he get it and just say he ain't rest on his laurels, he got it and he was so ready to give back that this is what the mission was about giving back what was so freely given us, which is love. And that's one of the things that me and him connected on, and I love that about him. And then, so we got a call calling in. Hold on 1 minute.
Okay, take your call.
Hello? Yes, ma'am. This is the mother, Katie Lowe.
Okay, we can't hear her. I can't hear her.
I'm gonna put on speaker so you can hear.
Okay, she wasn't able to get in the screen. If she
No,
called,
this ain't the wife.
oh, okay.
This is Miss Alicia,
Okay.
whose son is in Menard that I was telling you about earlier or
Okay.
yesterday. Hello? Yes.
On the line, and I was telling you about his brother was locked up and what we was trying to do with Springfield and City Hall and stuff.
Okay. Well, you live on the show because I'm on my radio show now.
Oh. Okay.
So, you want to tell the viewers what's going on down there, Menard?
Yeah. I'll speak first. My name is Alicia Owens, and I'm calling in regards to my son Michael Minifield. There's apparently right now incarcerated at Menard Correctional Facility. There's a situation going on with him down there with being racist and being accused of things that he's not doing. The guards are threatening to kill my son. He is fearing for his life. He won't take his medicine. Don't want to eat the food. They're coming in the cell, jumping over him, beating him. It is terrible in Menard. It's a real bad situation going on in Menard, and it really needs to be addressed. I don't even really know where to begin. And all I know is that my son is there. He is fearing for his life at Menard, and something needs to be done. I've been reaching out to authority people, but it seems like I'm not getting any help, any solution. I've been calling authority people, everybody that I can think of, and trying to make contact with my son to see how he's doing, what he's doing, what's going on. He's scared to go to the doctor in there. If he goes to the doctor, he's scared that they'll take him out to kill him. It's a mess in Menard. Something needs to really be done about the situation in Menard Correctional Facility. I'm fearing that my son is going to get killed. His name is Michael Minifield. I'm crying. I'm begging out for help for someone with some authority to please help my son. And again, my name is Alicia Owens.
Okay, Miss Alicia Owens.
Yeah.
All right. Like I was telling you, we also need to get in contact with the assistant warden as well as the warden or any directors down there. And we need to have more than one person calling on that line trying to get through. Where you have the authoritative voice over all, excuse me, but if we all chime in and if you have the numbers, you can text me those numbers. I can put it on the page and I can have a few of my followers to call down there. We can chime in on this and we can help bring solutions to this problem. But we have to work as a unified team in order for this to happen. Now, not only that, I have a few other young men that was in there. In fact, my nephew was in there before he was transferred from Menard to Pinckneyville, and we had a few transferred from Menard to Stateville. So we can make noise, but we have to know where to make the noise at. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if you can get us that number, we can start by calling everyone. I'll suggest everyone to call down there and put your son name down there. We can put your son name up there and we can call for that. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, this is a movement for all of you to call about your loved ones. Now, Miss Alicia is advocate about her son. So you should be that same way, but we should all be calling down there because we need to get answers about what's going on the inside of the penitentiary, as well as we talking about the outside. We can deal with the outside, but we got to know what's going on and the conditions is done right in the inside of the penitentiary. So we definitely need to call on that, Miss Alicia. And you have someone else on the phone?
Yeah, my name is Adolfo Davis. I was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole at the age of 14, and I spent 29 years in prison. I was recently released from prison 2 years ago, and I was hypnotized. And right now, my brother, Tiana Brown, is in Menard, and they first, when he was transferred down there, they was trying to force him to cut his dreads off.
Yeah, I remember that movement. Okay.
Right, so being in Menard, I had deep inmates, loud inmates, and like you mentioned, you can close down there, but a lot of people don't understand is this. When we call Menard, the ward might be akin to the police officer that you're calling on.
Yes.
Yeah. So what they do, they harass you, they go in your cell, take your cell down.
You're breaking up.
I think what they do is it's like to be able to support their family. So once they harass you, you come to a breaking point where you be like, man, I don't want to be down here no more. So let me assault the police and get them down here. So once you assault the police, they gonna say, Governor, look, I told you it's bad down here. We need more money. We need more staff. So once they give them more money, more staff, they gonna hire their family members to come in prison and have a lifetime job.
Yes.
So, and you need medical attention. They're not giving you adequate medical attention because they don't care. They would rather see you die than to pay the money to help you with your medical issue.
Yes. Right. You're breaking up.
I think they have killed inmates in the non-correction center. They have hung and lied and said they hung themselves.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Menard is basically ran by the plan.
Right, and like we call it Clandelia too. That's also ran by. So what we need to do is first we need to call down there, and we need to call the DOJ, Department of Justice, as well, to let them know that we're calling down here, but no changes is being done in this racist penitentiary. So I think that's a great point. I will look forward to working with you guys, and I just see like now that they're not answering you. Now we need to call the Department of Justice and get them down there and the governors and let them know what is going on in these penitentiaries and Prisker and all them and make them do their job.
I have a excuse me. I have a guest in the green room. When you get ready,
they need someone like who's been there, like me, to walk through the prison with them to show them the bad parts. What they do when administration do come down there, they will take them to the good part and keep them away from what's really going on. So it's all a game because they get a heads up who's coming down there before they get down there. So they clean everything up. They get rid of the inmates that don't have no problem with talking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you have a problem with if you found grievance, if you just an intelligent black or brown person that's in Menard, and you found a grievance, you go to the proper chain of command, you become a target for them because they don't want you to do that. But if you found a grievance down there, it's going to somebody that they know, so it's gonna get denied. And if we call down there, like when I was in Menard, I hear my family call down there. And the same people they called to came to my show and said, man, you really think we're going to do something to my family?
Okay, well, I understand what you're saying. So I need y'all numbers, and I need the warden's number, and then I have the Department of Justice number, and so we can take action like that. What's your name again, my brother?
My name is Adolfo Davis.
Okay, Adolf. Get my number from Miss Alicia, and y'all can text me, and we can take further action. Okay. I appreciate y'all. We with you. Just know you got somebody that's gonna help you.
Okay, thank you, and I'll be texting you shortly, Raymond.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a blessed day. All right. Hello, sister. How you doing?
I'm okay.
How you feeling?
Still struggling with this migraine, but I'm making it.
Oh, let me tell you something. You helped my spirit when I read that piece.
You said what now?
You helped my spirit when I read your piece about the headache. I have been struggling and trying to get writing and tearing up and writing and scratching off and writing. And I just said, let me just sit down and relax. And once I
Mm-hmm.
sat down and relaxed, it came to me. I got it all written out. I'm ready. I'll be presenting it, tomorrow. And so that for y'all that don't know, this is Alfonso Adams' wife. So let's bring her on the show, and we're gonna talk about the fundamentals of what he done and how important he was to the people. So from your perspective, you've been with him every day. You was a better half. Could you give us some information on your husband, your late great husband?
Yeah. What I can say is he was inspiring. He loved to help others.
Mm-hmm.
And what he reached, he tried to reach out to other people to get them where he was at. By all means necessary.
Yes.
If he had to help them, if he had to give them websites. If he just tried to pay the way and give individuals the path that he was so rightfully given, because he knew it was a struggle for second chance individuals,
Yes.
being one himself, and he just wanted everybody to be able to get an opportunity at a second chance, because he felt like even though um individuals had a background, it didn't make them a bad person, and that they could, overcome and supersede what paper had them written up as.
And that's absolutely right. And that's one of the things that I loved about Adam Alfonso, because what we did was I took a page out of his book, and a lot of people, like I was telling them before you came on, a lot of people don't understand the magnitude in which and how powerful this brother was, and how much love he had for the people, and how he would give his left arm to make sure somebody else succeeded as well. So when we talk about Alfonso, and I have fun memories of him, because I can remember him coming to my office, and he come to my office, he sit down in the office, Brother Raymond. And I was like, what's going on, Alfonso? He said, man, I am so proud of you. And I said, as I am with you. I was like, man. He said, no, you don't understand. And I'm like, I don't understand what, bro? He said, what you doing, man? You're doing a great thing. I said, what you don't understand is you was the inspiration for me to do these great things, because we seen Alfonso as one of the brothers who finally made it. We always had the dream of getting out the hood, living a good life, and God allowed Alfonso to do such. So now everybody, not just in our hood, but throughout the city, and as you know, Bam being a spokesman for CTA around the world, he was known global as an inspiration to a lot of people and to us all. So I'm sitting here. That's why I dedicated the show. We got the pictures up, and we showing different slides of him and all the things he accomplished. And like I was telling Katie Lowe, was that a lot of people will not accomplish 10% of what Brother Alfonso accomplished in his lifetime. And that's just facts. It's not to disregard nobody, put anybody down. It's because he was dedicated, and he had a queen such as yourself that was beside him that helped push him. Because I can remember him saying, man, my wife had me get back in school. I went and got my stuff, man. And now I'm about to graduate. Then he also, once he got his bachelor's degree, he also signed up for the graduation class, correct?
Right.
And so this is dedication. This don't happen overnight. And this ain't something that happens on a regular basis. Now, you can get some people that can just get a GED and can be all right with a GED. But that wasn't the case for Alfonso. Alfonso wanted to go as far as he can go, and that's what he did. And so he set the standards so high that he had to recognize it and say, all right, let me go back and help them because they probably can't get to where I'm going to get to, but I can get them somewhere. And this is what he was doing throughout the day of his shift. He'll call me on my phone. We text him. We put the job readiness program together over in the neighborhood. We try to get that up and going. So it's a various of things that this brother was doing. And it's just so, I'm just so grateful to know the brother, you know, and I'm so proud of all of his accomplishments. And he has set the bar so high now that he got me. Now I know by me being let me just say that I'm a mentee. See, a lot of people look at me as they mentor, but I have mentors too. And Alfonso was one of them. So I looked up to him. He helped teach me and helped pave me to get to different heights. And that's why I do what I do for others. So that's a beautiful thing. And I'm just excited to be it was in his presence, man, and just to suck up the knowledge that he gave me, man. And I'm gonna continue it on, and I'm gonna continue it on, and I'm just grateful to do it. And that's why we dedicating the show to a great man. You know, Katie Lowe, do we got some music? Because I'm trying to get some music to go on here. Do we got some music we can play without some people suing us?
What would you like?
My jam, Anthony Hamilton.
Oh, I can't do that one.
Oh, which one you can do?
One thing. Let me straighten this out there. I can
Okay.
only play music. I can play only music from independent artists and artists who have given me
Okay, permission to use.
permission. So,
Okay, okay.
Anthony Hamilton, if you're listening, give me permission to play your music.
Well, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that. But yeah, you know, and the seeing, you know, the where y'all come from, man, it's just a beautiful thing. Y'all home, you know, how y'all push each other, you know. Give them a little bit of your background. Tell them what you do. Now she a powerful sister too, Katie Lowe. She
All
just
right,
ain't live
now.
nobody. She powerful too. Tell them what you do, sister.
Well, right now I'm working as contracted through RTA, and basically what I do is process paperwork to get individuals PACE transportation for disability individuals. I've been doing that since October 2018. Um, but prior, no, 2017. I'm sorry, October 2017. However, prior to going to that job, I was a supervisor of 18 years at TASK, which is basically a um, reentry into society from prison, basically. I was over a drug court program where we advocated on a day-to-day basis to allow individuals to get enrolled into treatment, whether it was residential, outpatient, or whatever level that they needed to succeed, instead of them going back to the penitentiary. And then prior to that, I was working at Haymarket for 5 years, and I work with the DCFS population.
See, I'm talking about this powerful. So this is the power. That's like the power couple. You see what I'm saying, Katie Lowe? And that's what made it dynamic. So you know, it's man, and it's I just salute the sister, man, because she was a force behind him doing what he needed to do, and she stayed with him and made sure that he pushed forward. And
Well, when you got two powerful people and they get together and they start doing things, you ain't got nothing but power. You
right,
got a force to reckon with.
that's what it's
You
called.
know, you can't have a weak link. You got to have a powerful link.
Yes. And
Yeah,
so
we complimented each other because he would always tell me, where I'm weak at, you strong. Where you strong at, I'm weak. So that's how we complimented each other. Financially was his weak spot, but that was more my strong spot. Streetwise and all the other stuff, that was his stronger spot. So that's how we was able to keep each other grounded.
and that's the complementary of each other.
Right?
And
It's good to have somebody, as they say, what's the term? Pull you up by your bootstrap.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's the thing, and that's what you need. That's why I got it in my thing. I said, behind every great man is a great woman, and she was that. She was right there, and she was, and so this is what we talk about when we talk about the levels of how brothers get to where they need to get to, and they all talking. Yes, the age. No, we're motivated, but we have to be motivated. So when you can motivate somebody, then they can ascend to greater heights. As we come from the ghetto, and he went from the ghetto to having his own house, making sure his wife and his kids were straight. Didn't have to worry about that no more. And this all from the ghetto. So when you have the right people in your circle, you can do an amazing things. And this is what was happening. And I can remember him coming around through the hood every now and again. He'll pop up. He wouldn't tell you. He'll just pop up, and he'll call you. So I just came through for a hot minute, show some love, and I gotta go. And that was a beautiful thing because one of the things he taught me was stop walking around the hood so loose. He said, Brother Raymond, you walking you loose. I'm like, what do you mean loose? I'm at home. He said, yeah, you have to understand mentally, you have outgrown the hood.
Mhm.
And you walking around the hood as if everything's okay. But this is exactly what he told me. He said, I love you, Brother Raymond, and you know I do. He said, don't get Nipsey Hustle in the hood. And
Don't do
it
what?
get Nipsey Hustle in the hood.
Oh,
Remember, Nipsey Hustle got killed in the neighborhood where he come from.
right.
And he was telling me the same thing because he had seen that I had let my guard down and I was too relaxed. I would walk, me, Katie Lowe, I'd walk out and just go to the store. And he said, you're not that person anymore, Raymond. He said, whether you want to believe it or not, you have done some extraordinary things, man. So there's nothing else to get brownie points or to maybe, they'll stick you up too. But start to think and pay attention to your surroundings. And that's what caused me to take a step back and look at myself and see what I was doing and what I wasn't doing.
I have a question for the wife. And my
Mm-hmm.
question is, after were you all married before he was incarcerated or after?
So I actually met him when he was locked up. So of course, like I I went through three incarcerations with him. So I met him through a friend when he was doing an 8 year term back in 1990. And I stuck with him until he got out. Um, it was a little, rocky for him
Mm-hmm.
when he first came home because he still wanted to live the mentality that he was previous living. He went back to the projects and, because Cabrini Green was still standing.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second, Bella. I'll tell my granddaughter to turn the TV down. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Um, so in that time from 1990, he got out in 1991, like around September 1991, and then he got locked up again, and all of them was like little short 18 months, 2 years or whatever. So we actually got married in 1994, July of 1994. So basically his last um well, not the last one, but the one when he got out in 94. I think he got out maybe in May or June of 1994, but he had already proposed while he was locked up. So we got married like maybe a couple of months after he got out,
Right.
from doing about 18 months prison time. And again, he continued to go back to prison back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
and he got out in 2010 of December, and he was paroled. You said what now?
No, that's you.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So he was paroled from, he was in Wisconsin, and he was paroled from Wisconsin, and they really didn't even want him in Wisconsin anymore. So he was like, "Hey, I want to come home. Um, would you allow me to come home?" He said, "I want to show you that I can do this. I could turn my life around." And I was like, yeah, okay." I say, "But when you come home, you got a lot of work to do." I said, "And you don't have to do anything as far as the household, because I've been doing this by myself. I got this. All I want you to do is stay on the straight and narrow and do what you need to do." He said, "Man, I'm not trying to go back to the penitentiary." He said, "Wisconsin, they strict." He said, "They gave me, I think he said about 50 things that he could not break."
Yeah.
And he said, "I'm not going to even go down the list or what it was that they told me I couldn't break." He said, "Because the only one that I'm going to follow is not break none of them."
Right.
And he did that. And in that time frame, and he was in, they had him on paper for 5 years. That's just how they did not want him back in a system.
Mhm.
And he walked that path. He was struggling. He had people from the streets coming at him, wanting to give him this and wanting to give him that. And he like, I don't like to see you working so hard and paying all the bills, and I don't have anything to contribute. And I told him, I said, "Well, again, this is what I've been doing all along. Whether you was here or not, I still have to do what I need to do. So we gonna make sure that you can get." And at that time, I was in school, and I said, "Well, why don't you just go ahead and get in school and try to, get you a degree or something. In the meantime, at least you'll get some type of school checks and stuff to help carry you through." And he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." He was like, "But I need a phone." I said, "Okay, I get you a phone." I said, "But every time you get your school check, you gonna have to give me about 4 months worth of money to pay for your phone bill until you get your next school check." And he did that. He went out, he got him a link card and all of that, which he wasn't proud of, but at the time. But then when he and he got a lot of bumps, he went through a lot of job programs and all that, but he stayed focused. He even went to St. Leonard's house in the meantime, and helped mentor people there. He helped individuals that were struggling with trying to pass their GEDs. He tutored them. He did a whole lot of that stuff even before he even got a job, because he's just like, I gotta stay busy. I gotta
It's so
stay
focused.
focused. And if I can help somebody in the meantime while I'm going to school, that's what I'm gonna do. And then when he finally got into the second chance program at CTA, they loved him so much he just like excelled from there. Like, he was in the second chance program. I think it was supposed to be at least a year or longer that he had to remain in there. He was only in there for about 9 months before they moved him up. And then the next thing I knew, he was out of the second chance program. They had hired him permanent. Now all this time he's still in school. Um, he
Mm.
went to his teacher. He said, "Hey, uh, I need some assistance." He said, "Because the CTA buses and trains got a lot of graffiti on them. And these people got product, but they don't really know how to adequately use it. Let's make up a formula to try to get this graffiti off the trains." And he worked with his professor at school while in college, and they came up with a formula. And he went to CTA, and he said, like, "Hey, let me try something on these things. We're gonna start on a little small part of the train." And that stuff came off like magic.
Get out of here.
Like magic. So he almost like became the face of the second chance program. They simply loved him. to the point he moved from one position. He in another 6 months he was a coordinator, and then he was a maintenance manager. So he excelled. And in that short time, we talking about December 2010 that he came home, and he was able to sustain working at CTA 8.5 years. He never turned back, and his promise was, "I'm not going back to the penitentiary." Um, and if I had to, at any point, let him know that I needed some assistance, any kind of way, that he would have accepted what was going on in the streets to help him, whatever. But I think because I told him, no, you don't need to do that. We gonna figure this out. You gonna
Right.
get in school, I'm gonna be in school and all that, and we gonna figure this out. I say you'll get blessed with a job. Keep on pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So he really made a lot of accomplishments from the
Mhm.
time he came home in December 2010 to now. I
Okay,
couldn't
this
Amen.
is
be more proud of him.
Yeah,
okay.
and that's what I'm talking about. And that's the movement that pushed brothers like myself into. Like I said, he raised the bar so high that now we was on our game, and I knew he was in the CTA program, but I didn't know he had did all that one. I didn't even know he had did all that until I seen the video. You got the video, don't you, Kalo?
Now I couldn't play the video. The video is belongs to I think somebody else. So I have to get
Oh,
permission
so
to use
I
it.
was like, I seen the video and I was like, wow. Matter of fact, oh, somebody say second chance program has been good to me. I'm permanent CTA bus service official. I passed pre-trip inspection Tuesday. Congratulations, congratulations.
Right. That's
And
Congratulations.
and that's another thing I want to talk about. He got so many people jobs there that you wouldn't believe, and whether they willing to admit it or not, I know firsthand because he called me and told me, and I got a few guys, and I told them to go down there, and they went down there and they stuck it out, and now that they working, and one of the guys passed the CDL, and he's so excited. He was like, "Man, Raymond, I'm going to show my love to brother
mm,
Alfonso tomorrow. I'll be there. You coming?" Because he didn't know if I was coming because I didn't know. And then
I
Right.
so,
want I
but
want
this
to ask
happened.
her. I want to ask her a question. Now, honey, you can tell me, you can tell me, sister, that ain't your business, and I will not get offended. Okay?
You,
Because I've
you
had
said what? What did you say?
I want to ask you a question, and after I ask it, you can
Look,
tell me, sister, that ain't your business. And guess what? I promise I won't get offended. Okay?
Okay.
But now this is something you said. So once you said it, the question that I had in my mind, I just threw it on out the window. I got something new.
Okay.
You talked about how he struggled staying
Mhm.
out of the system. You say he struggled. You said it yourself. You said, oh, he was in for this time. He came out. He went back. He went in again. He went to Wisconsin, and when he went to Wisconsin, he said, "Oh, I don't want to go back no more." My thing, from one black woman to another black woman, what gave you that type of, I'm gonna say that type of feeling in your gut that you see this man constantly going back and forth in and out the system? How did you, as a black woman, just believe in him that he could turn around? I mean, especially after he went back the second time.
Third time and fourth time.
Yeah.
but
But
but the only
I mean, what did you see? Did you see something that was deep down inside of him that wasn't on the surface that made you stay?
the only way that I can answer that is to say now, and many people don't know. We were married 27 years. Now,
Mhm.
during his last time when he was in Wisconsin, we were separated for 10 years. Separated for 10 years, a full 10 years, to the point we could have gotten a divorce or whatever. So when I said we communicated maybe 6 months before he got out in December, that's when he said, "Hey, you know, babe, I wanna come home. I wanna make things right. And I struggle. And I mean, if I didn't have, you know, faith in God, I prayed on it. Because I mean, 10 years is a long time. He was doing what he was doing, and I was doing what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So, but I prayed on it, and I said, God, I said, you know, for some reason, we stayed married through all this. And even though he wasn't at home, I still maintained his insurance, health insurance. He was still able to go get whatever he needed as far as health insurance. Of them 10 years, he got shot 2 times. He was able to, he had medical insurance. You know what I'm saying? So I never took anything from him. So after I prayed, I said, God, I mean, this man been gone for 10 years. Do I let him come back? Do I just let go and let him get out, or let him stay in there? And you know, I had heard you can get divorced for $1 and all this while you're locked up. And voice of reason say, Nisha, give a man a second chance. I'm a steer him in the right way.
Mm.
I'm a bring back a man to you that you've never seen before. I'm
Amen.
gonna bring back a man to you that I prepared for you long time ago. He just wasn't following my path.
Mm.
So, um, and you know, I prayed again. I said, "You sure? I mean, you sure I should do this?"
Mm-hmm.
And kept getting, yeah, give him a second chance. So, and I mean, I was clear. I never was like, I never, like, you know how they say you could steer somebody wrong in your words. So he
Okay.
knew coming back home, he had work to do, because I told him, I said, I love you. And I never wanted to see any wrong by you or whatever. I said, but that in love piece, that's gone. I said,
Mm.
and you returning back home, you gotta work on me being able to love you again and be in love with you again. I
Okay.
said, because there's a difference. My love for you kept your insurance going. My love for you, you know, still did things that you needed for me to do for you, even with you not being at home. I say, but the in love part doesn't really keep me committed to you in a way that you want me to. So he understood, and I promise you, from the time he came home, he just did so much stuff because he was trying to prove a point to me. He was, you know, going to my friend's house, doing paint jobs and doing all types of stuff. I would come home, he had been cooking every day, and I would say every other day, he would still say, "Are you back? Are you back in love with me again?" I said, I said no. I said, you know what? I said, let's stop. Don't ask me that no more. I said, because the minute that I'm back in love with you, you won't even have to ask. You will see it. So
Mm.
he did everything that he needed to do to get back in my good graces. But how did I know that it was, you know, what it was? To answer your question, it was faith in God. And God told me, look, I'm going to change this man to give you a chance. You've been by his side all these many years, and it ain't been in your good favor. When I return him back, it will be in your favor. And from that point on, like I say, he did the things that he needed to do as a husband by me.
Amen. Amen. And that's it. I mean, because you know, I identified because I've been 6 times. I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and what they used to call us back in the day, can't get right. Just can't get right. Couldn't stay clean. I couldn't stay clean and sober. And my family said if I stayed out 6 months, they would throw me a party because I was always incarcerated for some reason or another. A lot of people thought I was into penitentiary institutionalized. They like I liked it, but it was something that I had to go through in order to get through. And so that's what we have to do. And sometimes people can hold on, and sometimes people move on. But even with that being done, uh, as Marvin Sapp said, he saw the best in me when everybody else seen the worst in me. And so God brings that out of you. And when he brings it out of you, God shows up and shows out in your life. And as long as you're obedient and you follow him, because he told me to do two things. And that's what I've been doing since I've been home. He said, trust and believe me. He didn't say I had to be the most skilled writer, the most gifted speaker, or none of that. He said, just trust and believe in me. And that's all I've been doing. And I walk by faith. I was never scared to step out on faith because I did everything else. So it wasn't nothing else to do. And then another thing about us, we were scared of success. That was another thing about us. A lot of us been going back and forth to penitentiary, and that was substance abuse. We was afraid of success. We wasn't ugly people. We was just afraid of the circumstance because we was in this condition of living in which we thought was suitable for us, not even knowing we were neglecting and holding ourselves back. So, that's why another reason why I salute Brother Red Alfonso, because to see where he come from, because he was right down the street. I was in one building, he was in another building. He was going through his struggles at the time, and I was going through mine. But we can identify with the similarities of it because the penitentiary, and believe it or not, saved a lot of our lives. And a lot of people, I don't know if they're willing to admit it, but I know it saved man, because after I came home in 2008, I had a whole different attitude. I didn't want nothing. I didn't want to be around nothing. I just wanted to do the right thing. And as you also touched on, I started helping the brothers get their backgrounds together. I started teaching them how to do intake forms and Social Security, birth certificates, or anything I can do in order to help the movement along. That's what I was doing. I didn't have the greatest job. A lot of people thought I ain't had no good job. I worked at Koch Foods up north in Chicago at a meat factory, and it was cold. It was 60 to 40 degrees every day in there, and you had to go in there, all kind of had hoodies, all that mask up. You had to go up there like you dressed for winter outside. And that pure juice get on you, you have to throw your clothes away. Ain't no washing them out. People talking about ammonia, it wasn't no ammonia. So there's a lot of stuff that we had to go through in order to get there. So that's another reason why I commend him, because he took it a step further. He went and got his education first. See, and that's what set the bar, because I can remember Malcolm. When Malcolm X got his life together, he read the dictionary, then he went back to school, and he learned everything he needed to learn. So you couldn't pull the wool over his eyes no more. You couldn't trick him. So when Brother Alfonso was ready and he hit the second chance program, they didn't even know what they was about to get. But when they got him, they was like, wow, excited, because he had took off, and he had so much knowledge, wealth of knowledge, that you couldn't do nothing but love him. And his smile, and then we from the hood. We got a gift for gab. We can sell water to a well, so that ain't no problem. But
I tell everybody all the time, if he had your ear for 2 minutes,
it's over with. It's over with. I tell them I don't know. I just know. Just put me in front of the peoples, and we gonna get it done. I don't know how we gonna get it done. Just put me in front of them, and we get it done. And see, this
I got another question. I got another question. You can tell me this ain't my business either, but I'm still.
Katie Low.
I'm a retiree from CTA.
You said what now?
I'm retired from CTA, from Chicago Transit Authority. And you said that your husband and the professor at school mixed up a chemical to remove graffiti.
So basically, CTA already had chemicals that they were using, but somehow or other he worked with his professor to perfect what they already had. So it wasn't like they used anything new. She just told him how to mix it up the right way to get what needed to be done. And like I said, he went through there and cleaned the graffiti off, and he used just, how they say you spot clean. He was like, we're going to try this in one spot. And he did it, and they were so amazed till they started having him teach and train other people that actually were cleaning the graffiti off the trains to start using that product to clean those trains.
Wow.
So they're still using the method that he taught them.
Exactly. And see, that's the thing. That's the historical thing that a lot of people probably don't know. of the geniusness in us, and we have that. It's just to bring it out. If you can get somebody to bring it out to you, you'll be amazed at what you can do. Katie Lowe, you synced me. You synced my start.
Oh yeah,
I
I
did.
saw your start. Yeah,
I started my show because of you.
yeah. Well, yeah, you
Because you
did.
had me on your show.
Well, that's because you had a book, and I
Right.
wanted to interview you by the book, and the book just grew into something else.
And that's what I'm saying. So other people see things in us and it brings us out. Like I can remember when you was at the studio. Now you all over the place now. Now you syndicated now. You know, you ain't just Katie Lowe. You syndicated
Well,
now.
I just got where the podcast is now streaming on all major streaming apps, but it took a while. It took a while to do that, and I guess it did because I got tired of asking people how. And then someone would give me good information and someone would. So one day I just took a whole day and I just got online and I read that day. I read that day and I drink a lot of I ain't gonna tell you what I drink a lot of, but I drink. I drank really. That day I spent the whole day, and
Right.
I
Okay.
refused to get off the computer until I had all of this embedded in my brain, and I didn't want to have to go back and look up something. So when
Okay.
that particular day when I got off the computer, I knew where this was going, and I prayed that it would get accepted. And once it got accepted by everybody. So
And see,
it,
that's what I'm saying.
it's
Now
a
you
new
got
day for me.
because you got who? You got Amazon, right?
And now I'm working on getting Amazon right as we speak.
So
So
who all you got?
hopefully I got Apple,
Apple,
I got iHeart,
iHeart,
iTunes,
iTunes,
Spotify,
Spotify,
podcasters.
podcasters.
It's so many of it's about 10.
But see, this is what I'm saying. And
Yeah,
this is
about
from,
10.
but this is always from your dedication. And see, this is what I'm saying about Brother Alfonso. He was dedicated to perfecting his craft. And this is what pushed him. And it took him to heights that he was even amazed at because this is what drives us. You know, like Katie Lowe, when I was in New York for Eric Gardner and Laquan McDonald and all that stuff, I ain't never could see me doing this stuff. But now I'm doing it. And so I'm saying, wow, but just the motivation and see, dedicated to your craft and never giving up and having faith. And that's what happens with a lot of us and a lot of people. Some get it and some just don't. But in the short time that Brother Alfonso had it, let me tell you, he didn't have it, he had it in multitude. It reminds me of Job, and it came so abundantly to him because he didn't have nothing. You know what I'm talking about, Nisha. Didn't have nothing, came back home, made a commitment to his wife, his queen, which he knew was his backbone.
And he definitely did that.
Although he struggled, he never gave up. And see, this is how the winners win, because we never give up, no matter what's in front of us, what the people say we can't do. We don't listen to naysayers, and we keep going, even when it's nobody but just me and the queen. She was all enough. I knew they needed to have my back. You know, like when all that stuff happened with me, a lot of people didn't know all the stuff happened to me, but Alfonso knew, and he was like, "Wow, Ray, you lost all that." I had lost, you knew Katie Lowe. I had lost so much to where I was like questioning myself, like, what part of the game is this?
Well, I've always heard that saying, behind every successful man, there's a woman. Girl, I am so happy to meet you.
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying.
I really am.
And guess what, Katie?
Mm-hmm.
People don't even know that the motivation. When I roll over and see my queen, and I come home at night and my queen there, and she feed me, she makes sure I got my stuff and I'm clean. Oh, that's it. I'm gone. I'm motivated to, like, now. My fiance will tell you I'll be up 5 o'clock in the morning on the computer figuring stuff out, just on it, figuring it out, putting stuff together because I got these different companies I'm trying to run and all this stuff, and I'm figuring it out. And so this is what happens when you have somebody in your corner that will push you and stand beside. Listen, remember what she said, Katie, though. He struggled. So no matter what he struggled, she had his back.
And that's the important part.
And that's what we know.
Hey, let me tell you, I'm just being honest. Now you
Yeah.
know the average black woman ain't gonna be that way. I'm just being for real, and she know it too.
Right,
Huh.
but and we know it. The men know it.
3
We know
strikes
it.
and you are out. That's the end of the game.
And
some of
so
them stay on strike 1.
And so when you find that one like that, you're gonna go all out. You're gonna go all out to do whatever it is you need to do. And sometimes we burn ourselves out because, like she said, he was trying to do it so much. He was helping this person, helping that person.
You writing your book, right? You writing your book.
and so
No.
So
well, one thing he also did, because when he bought the house, I was like, I don't want no house, because y'all say, you ain't married no woman that gonna go mow no lawns. I ain't cussing that part. And his main reason for buying the house, because I was like, we could just get a condo. Now my son wasn't at home when he came back. He was, he was living his, I'd be at this female house, you know what I'm saying? He was working at a gas station, and he was also dibbing and dabbing with trying to be in the street life.
Right.
And my husband was like, no. He said, no, I got to bring our son home. I got to rechannel him, because I don't want him to think what he doing is the right path to be going on. He said, I figure if we bring him back home and he can bring his kids, because he only had one child at the time. He was like, and we could bring his daughter home so that he could start, being that father figure that she needs. And she was only maybe about 15 months old at the time, and her and her mother stayed in Michigan. So he was like, I think we should just buy a home and bring him home and allow her to move up here from Michigan and give him the opportunity and a chance. He said, because I don't, I got this for you. He said, but I also want to get this for our son. And he stayed on my son. We had got our son back in school. He had got in college. In that time, he pressed for him. He was like, if I can do it and your mama doing it, you for sure can do it. You young. And he kept pressing, and he was like, and I'm finna get you up out that gas station. That ain't your life. So right now, today, my son is employed still at CTA. He drives the CTA trains, whatever that position. He's a bus operator.
Whatever it is, right.
I mean, not a bus operator. He's a rail operator. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he got him grounded, you know what I'm saying, and showed him a different way. So like I said, and that was that was like a major accomplishment for him, is to see his son also grow and change his, and not to say that he wasn't no in and out of no penitentiary or nothing like that. He's never been in penitentiary, but he didn't want him to ever have to experience the life that he had experienced. And he said, and even though I know you saw the things that I was doing coming up as a child, I still want better for you.
Amen. And see, that's enough. See, that in itself is amazing, and to even piggyback off that is like, when I was in that slump, Katie Lowe, we stayed on the phone for almost 2 or 3 hours. I think he was in the garage or something, Nisha. And he was on the phone with me. He talking. He's like, I'm like, man, look, I'm tired. And I'm crying, real tears. I said, man, I'm tired, man. Everybody trying to take advantage of me, man. They think I'm a punk. And I had went back on the block for a hot minute. And he was like, whoa, that ain't you. That ain't the person that you are. God did something for you, brother. Remember what he did. Come on back. And he brought me back to where I need to be, because at that instant, at that point in time, I was ready to pop. because I had felt abused. I felt like I was used, you know, when I
Mhm.
was going through the situation with my wife and all that, Katie Lowe, and it
Mhm.
just seemed like stuff just was hitting, bombarding me from everywhere. And he said, "Man, stay focused. Just stay focused."
Mhm.
And just like that, we was like, we ain't say nothing for a minute on the phone. And I finally answered about 10 minutes into our silence.
Mhm.
I said, "All right, bro, I'm gonna stay focused. I'm good. I'm gonna go on, lay it down, and get myself together, get up tomorrow, and start all over." He said, "All right, my brother, I want to hear from you tomorrow. You sure?" I said, "Yeah, I got you." And from that point on, that was a level of motivation that I hadn't had in a while. And so that took me to now the heights where I'm at now, because I knew within myself that I had to change everything about me if I wanted to continue on the road that God had me on. So that's when I changed locations. And that's why people are like, "Man, you just up and moved." No, this was in the making, because God was showing me that I had fulfilled my purpose, but I was just staying there because I was in my comfort zone.
Exactly.
And he made me uncomfortable because he started taking stuff from me. Little things, he started taking stuff from me. And I was like, "Oh, what's going on? I'm doing everything." You still not listening. You don't get it, do you? You don't get it. Okay, this happened, that happened, this happened, this happened. When my head was turning, like I thought I was an owl, because I didn't think I had no bones in my neck. I'm turning like, I'm like, what's happening? But I overstayed what he had called me to do. And then he gave me a scripture. And it said, "The highways and the byways." Now keep in mind, I didn't have my fiance down here in Houston at the
Okay.
time. But he said the highways and the byways, and as I'm looking, I'm saying the highway. That's when I started traveling. Katie Lowe, remember when I first went to Arizona.
Mhm.
I went to Arizona, and then I started feeding the homeless in Arizona, and I was trying to see, okay, is this my location? Is this where you want me to read? And it wasn't. So then I went back home, and he said, "You came back to where you just left, and why?" You know, so now I'm here in Houston, and now I know this is where I need to be. But yeah, this is so poetic when you talk about what the brother did for us and how instrumental he was in a lot of our lives. You know, and I wanted to be proud of it. You know, like when we gave him his award, I gave him his award because I truly in my heart knew that he deserved it because of all the hard work that he put in and the fruits of his labor, and how people don't want to give you your roses until you're gone.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh, there you get. Now
You know,
you made me want to ask another
and so that's why we
question.
was privileged to Brother Stand Together was privileged to give him his award and thank him for all the service that he was doing.
Well, I want to ask this one last question. Then I promise you, all right. One
You promised, Katie Lowe.
Yeah, he said you have to give the person their roses while they're living. You don't want to wait till they go. I want to ask, what caused Anthony's death?
You said what now?
You did tell me he had passed, right? When I asked you, Raymond, what I
Yeah,
asked
he
you,
passed.
because he came, Alfonso came up in my feed, and it was a picture of him talking about when after he got out to join or something, and he said
Right, right.
CTA had gave him his first debit card. And I
Mm-hmm.
just thought it was really nice. And so I
He said what he said was he traded in his link card
sent
for a
God
debit
For a
card.
debit card,
right,
exactly.
right. And so
Mm-hmm.
when it came up in my feed, it had been in my feed before, but it, on anniversaries, I guess stuff comes back around. And when
Mhm.
I saw it and I sent it to him and told him that he should have this guy on the show, he said, "Oh, he's deceased, but I'm going to dedicate the show to him." So I want to know, what did he die from?
Well, I haven't gotten his
Right.
death certificate yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but I want to say maybe possibly a heart attack. He did get a vaccination. He got the Johnson vaccination, and after he got that vaccination, he was complaining that he wasn't feeling good, shortness of breath, and all that stuff. So I don't know what the contributing factor was. I don't want to speak on that because I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
Um, and I tell people all the time when they ask me that question, the only thing I am 100% sure is that he's no longer here.
Amen.
Oh my goodness, Lord.
Amen.
You
Amen.
said, what you say,
That
you are
is,
sure of that.
I'm
and,
sure of
100%.
that.
and that's what it is. And like when people's calling me, hey, Brother Wayne, what happened? I don't know what happened. I just know we lost a good brother. That's all I can tell you. So when people, and I don't know if they know the magnitude of what we lost. See, we look at death as, everybody got a date. Yes, we do have a date.
Right.
But what you do here determines your outcome in the future, in the past life, and the next life. And what he's done was so magnificent that people's like, well, he didn't call me back. Okay, well, he didn't call you back, but he called 100 other people back.
But
Exactly.
Alfonso got his basic instructions for leaving the earth. And did he go to church?
Yeah.
Do I go to church?
I say, did he go to church?
Yeah, he was going. He was baptized at the apostolic church. He
Yeah.
went. I mean, I'm not gonna say he was like ongoing person going, but he he went. And but
So we
one
can see
thing,
it.
whether he went or not, he did believe in God.
They say it's the dash that matters.
It
Somebody
matters.
just said that.
Yeah.
Right.
But
He
I, I,
believed
I,
in
didn't,
he.
I, I didn't know him. I didn't know him. But I truly believe that he got his basic instructions before he left this earth. Because just listening to you talk about him, and I don't know him and I don't know you, it was like he made a 360-degree turn. And once he made that turn, guess what? He didn't look back.
Yeah.
He did. And one thing he used to say was, and I was just sharing with Raymond earlier, that he said, listen, when I leave this earth, I don't want my obituary to say he lived and he died. He was like, I don't want it to be where you fishing for stuff to say. And when I tell you his obituary highlights him, I mean, it's his story. It's
Exactly.
12 pages long. It's his
Amen.
story, and we only spoke of from the time we even speak on his penitentiary time because
Right.
that's not relevant right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because that wasn't his life, at the time. He said he wasn't going back to the penitentiary and he never did.
Amen.
So we only spoke of what his life was from 2010 to 2021. And
Amen.
it was enough to write what we wrote.
Amen.
So he made, when he changed his life around, he changed his obituary from being he lived, he died to he was somebody. You
Amen.
know,
He was.
he claimed himself as being a professional. When I say, oh, he's like, no, it's Mr. Professional to you, or it's Mr. Johnson to you, or and that was just our little jokingly,
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
thing or
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. Not seriously, but he took pride in being professional. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? He said he had been, as he called, a street nigga, G Red to
Right.
everybody. He said he wanted to change that so that people saw him in a different manner. And they
Exactly.
did,
And that's right. And that's why I keep saying Alfonso. It's tearing me up because I know my brother, but also know how I changed my name from Ray Skate to Brother Raymond, and now they call me Brother Raymond
Right.
instead of, because I didn't want that. Everybody, I knew they could call me that, but call me Brother Raymond, and they respect me as that now,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives me a feeling. So I know his feeling when they say Mr. Johnson and Mr. Alfonso, how you doing? I'm fine, you know, because even on the phone sometimes we call, hey, Mr. Richard, how you doing? I'm fine, and you? And this is things that we weren't accustomed to because we grew up in the neighborhood. But as
Right.
we changed our lives, we had to change everything about it. You can't hold on to some things we want to hold on to, but you can't hold on to them. Now, granted that the guys that grew up with you, they will still call you your nickname, and
Mm-hmm.
you say, ain't no sense of fighting it because it ain't gonna change. Because I was absolutely against it, and then we got into a heated conversation. That's what I know you as, man. I know that's what they call you now, but I know you from this. And then I went to one of my mentors, and he said, what difference does it make? You know who you are, don't you? I
Yeah.
said, he said, well, that's all that matters. And they just saying what they know. And when they come to that, they'll stop calling themselves what they used to call themselves and start calling themselves by their real name. Like I tell them it's okay to call me Raymond. Ain't nothing wrong with Raymond. I love Raymond. I love when they call me Brother Raymond. I love when people call me on the phone and ask me stuff because this is what we privy to. Because when you graduated and you develop, you know, and you change the course actions of your course, and they call it growth and development. And so this is what we mean by that. You actually grow into the man that you always God knew wanted you to be. And that's all he did. He just transformed who the man he was. He showed up and he showed out. And
Yep.
some people liked it, some people didn't. But oh well.
Okay.
Along the way, he laid
You
his
got one more question. I know it. I see
No,
it.
no, I know. No, I know.
and
No, I
so
know. I wanted to say, Nisha, I hope I'm not pronouncing that right. I just wanted to say, I thank you. I thank you so much for taking out, the time out of your busy day and logging on and telling your story. I mean, you let us know who Alfonso really was,
mhm.
you know. And I just wanted to say thank you. And I know that there is another young man that Raymond is supposed to talk about. And we've gone over the time, but this young man, I want him to say something about this young man before we have to end the show.
Talk about
Okay.
Cedric
Yeah, and
Love.
yeah, you can stay in here with us. You ain't got to go nowhere. Yeah,
No, no,
but
because
I
Cedric.
do want to thank you. And after you write your book, that I know that you're going to write, because if you wrote a 15-page obituary, I know you have another 135 to make that book 150 pages.
Gotta be that.
I'm gonna leave this with y'all. And I think this is what made him want to come back home.
Okay.
So when he was locked up that last time,
Uh-huh.
his counselor, he went into a drug program.
Uh-huh.
And he only really went into the drug program because it was gonna give shorten his time.
Short time. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So his counselor asked him to reach out to two people whose life he had affected, that he felt he had affected, and to have them to write how he affected our lives. So
Right.
he picked me. Wrong choice, but he picked me, and he picked his mother. Now his mother gave like a little brief, not
Mm-hmm.
really the whatever. And the guy needed this stuff by a certain day. And I called the man. I said, listen, I said, I ain't gonna be able to get this to you by this time. I say, is it a way that I could specifically email it to you? I said, because I know I'm supposed to mail it. I said, but I'm still writing. When I tell you I wrote a 10-page letter to that counselor, Alfonso was livid. He was mad
Yeah.
because I went from A
To
to
see.
Z. I
Mm-hmm.
did not candy coat anything. I told all truth, all facts. And in fact, it got him put out of the drug program, but he ended up doing all of his time. Oh, he called me and he blamed me. Why you write that letter? So what was humiliating for him was the counselor made him. So I guess when somebody sent a letter, you have to stand before the group
Yes, you do.
and read what was written.
No,
And
no,
he tried to
no.
skim. He tried to skim through it. And
Yeah.
the counselor said, you
Mm,
skipped something. Go back.
exactly. Yeah.
He had to read that 10-page letter, and he said that was the most humiliating, but it was
Yes.
also the most humbling experience. And
Humbling.
he, was-
See that
it,
humble. Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes. That
and
humbleness.
he was upset.
Yeah.
But that's what allowed for him to, change his path and say, hey, I want to come back home. Because he was like, if you took all that time, because his counselor told him, like, who are you? You done can't remember what we talked about earlier, Raymond? You just said it. He said, if we have your ear, we'll spit that game and
Oh
have a
yeah.
person thinking you
Oh yeah.
somebody you really not. Once
Yes.
that counselor read that letter, he called him in the office. He said, who are you? And he was like, I'm Alfonso. He said, no, who are you? He said, you a monster.
Right.
From
Yeah.
what's written in this letter, you a monster.
Yeah.
So,
Woo.
yeah. But that was a humbling experience for him. And, I had to do it. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, I shouldn't have asked you to write nothing. I said, well, maybe you shouldn't, but maybe you should have because it got you where you needed to go.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we all had that humble piece of pie eaten. You had to eat that humble piece of pie. We all had to do it because at some point in time, the truth is going to be revealed, And, they say in the program, you only sick is your secret. So every secret that you keep, the more secrets you keep, the sicker you become. And that hinders you from becoming clean and sober and serene and say to thy own self, be true. And they say, if you don't be true to nobody else, be true to yourself. And so that's one of the
Right.
things that I love about the program that helped us as well. A
Mm.
conversation, Brother Raymond, Friday, okay.
Mm.
And so that's a beautiful thing, and I love it. I'll see you tomorrow, my sister, God's willing. Once I land, I'll be there. And Katie Lowe, you want me to talk about Cedric?
I do want you to talk about this young man. Let me go and find his picture.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
I saw
Cedric,
this when I saw this picture. I just want to know the story behind it.
Cedric Lawson is a young man with mental challenges, right?
Hmm.
And so he was in a foster care and he was having a spasm. And during the spasm, the foster parents called the police, which they supposed to call the doctor. And they were supposed to use the tools and the kits that they had in order to calm him down because they went to class for this. So unfortunately, 4 officers showed up, and when they showed up, they tried to detain him instead of trying to defuse the situation. And as I stated earlier, he's mentally challenged, so he was refusing, but he was saying, "No, let me go," because he didn't want to go to jail. And so, as an act of that, they manhandled this young brother. And I don't know, Katie Lowe, was you able to find it? But they got a restraining, and this is Wichita, Kansas.
Now I didn't find it, and
They
probably
have some
if I had
restraint.
found it, I wouldn't have put it on the screen after you described it to me.
They have some restraints, and it's shackled at ankles, then the legs with the steel rods in them. Then they put the press breastplate on you. Then they put the muzzle. It makes you look like Hannibal Lecter
Mm.
and Silence of the Lamb. This is how they do, and it's like a hog tie. And then they grab this end and they grab this end and they put you in a car, and this is how they take you. So during this time, you can suffocate,
Mm.
you can have heart attacks, anything. So he started to he had an anxiety attack. So having an anxiety attack causes, some reactions. And so when they got him to the station, he was okay. And it's a film, it's a video footage that I have later, and they'll show him sitting in the cell. And when he left, went to the bathroom or whatever, and came back, he was never the same. And as y'all seen on the screen, he was unresponsive, and they had to rush him to the hospital. And this is the last time that anybody seen him somewhat alive. And so we fighting for that case down in Wichita, Kansas, in which I'll be flying down. I got to fly down there, and they'll be doing a protest this Monday. I won't be there this Monday, but we got a chapter down there, and they'll be there representing Brothers Stand Together, and until we can get down there. But I just want people to understand that when you have someone who has a mental challenge, it's instructions, of how to deal with them, because you don't want to come off as aggressive. If you come off aggressive, they'll come off aggressive because they don't know. So it's ways to diffuse the situation in which the police supposed to have this anyway. And once the police was called, even the police broke the law because they were supposed to call a counselor or a doctor to come out to the scene as well. And they were supposed to keep them engaged, but not engaged. Meaning they supposed to have been there, and then when the doctor came, then let the doctor go and approach this young man and get him what he needed. But instead, they took the need to do that, and then the foster parents. Let me tell y'all about them. They went back inside their house and closed the door and looked out the window.
They didn't come out to try to help.
They ain't come out trying to help the man.
Offer some type of
No, not at all.
Let him know that
not at all. So
challenged.
The community is suing the police department, the city council, the foster parents, and so many others that it's so wrong. They so wrong on so many different levels that it's like, And so I'll be showing the clip. I put it on my page, Kayla, and it's a clip where the pastor went to the council meeting and he addressed it because it's called a secret letter. Now, as we all know with Laquan McDonald, what they did, they called certain pastors to the table to discuss the lawsuit and all that. So this is some of the same stuff that they did down here. They emailed a few of the people who don't have boots on the ground, who's not actively engaged with the people, and don't have the people's best interest at heart. So he asked them at the city council to what was going on with this secret letter. So he exposed the letter. Now we know about the secret letter. Now we know about all the stuff that was wrong that they done. And so now we're able to attack it at a whole different level. So now we're getting the people to rally, and there's people from all over the country coming down to Wichita, Kansas, and they'll be protesting with them in solidarity as to get justice for Brother Lofton. So that's what we have right now. Also, Katie Lowe, I'll be able to send you the conference that I think it was on my page, but he did the city council called Pastor Mo, and so that'll be there as well. So that's what the updates we have on that. And then before we go, we want to give a heart and condolence out to the young lady who was shot and killed on the south side on 74th and Vincennes, who was shot to death, and she was pregnant. She lost to senseless violence in the city of Chicago. So it's a lot of work needs to be done. Again, I thank Brother Alfonso for helping equip me in order to do the work that I do, because Lord knows I need some help out there, and I need a sound mind. So this is where it be going on. And then only that, right before the show, and after I hung up from you, Nisha, the state rep, LaShawn Ford, called me, and he wants me to go with him into Cook County on Martin Luther King Day and give some inspiration to the brothers since I'll be in Chicago. So God is good, and he's working. And, like I say, Alfonso may be gone in the flesh, but he's here in the spirit because he's a part of me. As long as he's a part of me, he'll be forever living, and we'll carry the legacy on, and we'll continue to do the things that we're doing. We're also working on, me and Alfonso was working together. I was telling you about the job readiness program. So what I did was I went back and I selected 4 companies. And I selected 4 companies to create a trade program. So we're trying to put that together with the state representatives in order to bring that into fruition. And with God's help and the help of the people, we'll bring that into fruition. Then once that's done, we can also have it, a dedication to Alfonso for that, because he was inspirational with helping me do that as well, as a lot of people don't know. So
Okay, you have been listening to our conversation with Brother Raymond right here on Facebook, YouTube.
I love you.
Twitter.
I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow, sis.
All right.
Peace. Thank you, Katie Lowe.
Absolutely.
You the
Okay.
best. I got you. Don't even worry about it. I got you.
We out of here. Listen, check back tomorrow. I will be on here tomorrow at 6 o'clock with Tracy Kincaid. She's got a new song out, and we're gonna debut her
Okay.
on a new song. I'm trying to go in here right quick and find it, but I can't. I think it's about something about living my life or doing something of that nature. But she's gonna be on here. She is in the cast of a show that comes on the internet. It's what would I call it? She's in Seasons, which is a show that's streamed on the internet on social media.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Tracy has a. I'm trying to find the name of her song. I think it's I can't even think of the name of the doggone song. I am so sorry. But she got a brand new track out. And I was looking up the track. I was gonna try to play it. Here it is right here. Oops, sorry about that. This is her new track. And the track is, hold on most streaming apps. But she will be here tomorrow. She's gonna be here tomorrow with me.
Okay. At 6.
So I'm asking everybody to tune back in.
6 in the morning or 6 in the evening?
Next Friday. My New Reality, that's the name of it.
Okay.
So I'm asking everybody, we'll see you here tomorrow and next Friday with our conversation with Brother Ray.
Thank you. Peace.